Ah, what a lovely day. I'm gonna let y'all in on a little secret. I love parasites. I mean, yes, they are gross. Yes, they are a detriment to their hosts and sometimes us. And yes, I don't want one. But dadgummit, man, they are cool. Parasites have some of the most unique and complex life cycles of any animal on Earth. Many parasites undergo crazy transformations throughout their lives and use extremely unique ways to move from host to host. And no parasite, in my opinion, showcases this more than the Riberia ondantre, also known as the frog-mutating flatworm. But before we get started, I just want to go over three things. One, this is a video about parasites, so if you don't like worms or anything like that, I don't know why you clicked on the video. You saw the title. That's on you, bud. I'm sorry. Two, I will probably be addressing Riberia ondantre as either RO or simply as the flatworm, because every time I say Riberia ondantre, a random object starts floating. And three, I think maybe we should go over some general knowledge about parasites. Real quick, that is. But what is a parasite? A parasite is an organism that survives by stealing nutrients from a host. This usually does not involve killing the host, but it is a detriment to the host. The word parasite actually comes from the Greek word parasitos, which means one who eats at the table of another, which fits them pretty well. You see, a parasite's job is to not kill you. Honestly, the parasite wants you to live as long and as healthy as you can because it solely relies on you. A parasite only wants to find a good suitable host, settle down, meet a nice gal, and have thousands and thousands of babies. Basically the American dream. Now, I could go deeper into like parasites, but the gist of it is once a parasite finds its final host, also known as the definitive host, that's where he wants to be the rest of his life. The host in between getting to the definitive host is known as the intermediate host, and he doesn't really care about them. He'll mess up their entire lives. The goal is the definitive host. Now, imagine this. It's a nice summer morning. You're out fishing with your broskies, drinking some brewskis, just having a great time. Then, suddenly, you hear some rustling in the bushes behind you. Before you can react, what emerges is an unholy abomination lumbering towards you. Its breathing is labored. Its body is covered with dozens of legs, and you stand there paralyzed with fear as you realize, oh dear God, it's a frog? But what happened to it? Is this natural? Maybe a rare breed? Could pollution have caused this? Well, believe it or not, this was all caused by a single flatworm. But why did it do this to this poor frog? To find out, we need to start at the beginning. First, infected feces is released into a body of fresh water, which then releases thousands of eggs. These eggs will float around and develop for roughly 2 to 3 weeks before hatching. What hatches is known as a Miracidae. We'll name this guy Freddy. This is Freddy's first larval form, and right now he is roughly 100 to 150 micrometers long, which is about 1/70th the size of a grain of rice. He is also covered with tiny arms known as cilia that he will use to swim through the water. Freddy will swim freely around in the water until he finds his first intermediate host, the ram's horn snail. Once he reaches the snail, Freddy will begin boring into its skin. Now that he has successfully infected a snail, Freddy will get enough experience points that he can finally evolve into his next form, a Rediae. This word, I looked up like 4 pronunciation videos and he evolves into this, okay? He evolves into this. In this new form, Freddy has a brand new ability. The ability to rapidly replicate himself. He will lose all of his cilia and feed primarily on the snail's blood. As Freddy and his clone army spreads throughout the snail, they will target the reproductive organs, thus rendering the snail sterile. However, both Freddy and the snail are on borrowed time. If the parasitic load gets too high, the snail's delicate digestive gland can be damaged and cause an early death, which ain't optimal for Freddy. So before this happens, Freddy and several of his clones are going to have to gain enough experience points so they can evolve into their next larval stage, the Cercarii. With his long, powerful tail, Fred will break free from his snail host and search for his next home. He is matured. He can infect fish, salamanders, and tadpoles, greatly increasing his chances of survival. Once he approaches his new host, Fred will bore into it just like he did with the snail. Once inside his new host, he will lose his tail and evolve yet again, this time into a Meta Cercarii. Now this form resembles his previous form, the Rediae, except this time instead of having the ability to self-replicate, he gets a brand new ability. He can do nothing. Utilizing this brand new ability to its fullest potential, Fred will form into a cyst and patiently wait for his host to be eaten. If his host is a fish, then that's all he can do. But if it's a tadpole, then Fred can get a little creative. You see, after reaching a tadpole, Fred will penetrate its skin just like he would a fish. However, this time, after evolving, he will move towards the area known as the limb buds. Limb buds are the regions where the tadpole's limbs will begin growing during metamorphosis. Before this transformation happens, Fred will move towards these buds and begin forming a cyst there. As the tadpole begins its transformation to a frog, Fred will somehow alter its chemistry and cause it to grow more hind legs than it normally would. We're not entirely sure how Fred is able to do this, but somehow he's able to cause this growing factor to kick into overdrive. 1, 2, 3, even 15 extra hind legs will begin growing all over the frog.
Be not afraid.
And weirdly enough, it's specifically hind legs. If the front limb buds are infected, they only cause minor mutations like messed up feet webbing. So somehow, Fred is able to specifically target the hind legs of the frog, and is specifically designed for that region of the frog, which is just wild to me. And these new limbs are the real deal. They have adequate blood flow, oftentimes they have the right amount of bones in them. There's just one major problem. They are completely useless.
Wait, what? Ow.
Which, as you imagine, this adds a lot of dead weight to the frog. This impacts every aspect of the frog's life. Swimming, hopping, hunting, mating, and most importantly, evading predators. This is Fred's ultimate goal. Hinder the host frog so badly that it becomes an easy meal for a predator. Now, if the infection is too bad, the frog could die of starvation since he can't hunt properly. But if Fred is lucky, a predator will notice the frog before that happens. Common predators like hawks, ducks, herons, badgers, and muskrats all take advantage of this frog's weakened state. which, by the way, scientific name is Ondantra, where Fred gets his scientific name, you know, Riberio Ondantre. Dadgummit, no, my tackle box is floating. And why does this work so well with the predators? It's easy. There's more food, and the food doesn't move as fast. Let me provide an example. And let's be real, y'all. If y'all went down to the Jiffy, and in front of you was 2 boxes of chicken legs, one has 10 legs in it, the other one has 15 legs in it, you're going to go for the one that has 15 legs in it. Now also imagine in this analogy that bucketed chicken is also a parasite that wants to be eaten, and, you know, you fell for its trap, but I'm just saying we would all fall for this trap. This is a really easy trap to fall for. Eventually, one of these predators will spot the infected frog. If Fred's host does get eaten by a predator, then he will emerge from his cyst like a beautiful butterfly leaving his cocoon as Frederick, a full-grown flatworm. Now that he has completed his journey, Frederick can finally retire and settle down inside the digestive tract of the predator. There he'll cling to the walls, live off the blood with his specialized mouth parts, and meet a nice flatworm lady, who also, mind you, went through the same exact life cycle as him. So they already have so much in common. And both of them will enjoy a beautiful, healthy marriage and lay roughly 2,000 eggs a day. I mean, just based off probability, one of these eggs is bound to survive and go through the whole process again to ensure the great lineage of Frederick the Flatworm continues. And this is honestly how many parasites are so successful. By having an actual crap ton of kids, pun intended, they're ensuring that at least one of them will survive to adulthood and make it through this complex life cycle. Because I mean, think about it. If the infected feces didn't land in fresh water, it ends there. That's 2,000 eggs gone. But let's just say it does land in a body of fresh water, but that lake doesn't have any snails. That whole lineage, gone. And I know what you're thinking. Deffy, this is cool and all, but I'm selfish. How does this affect me? And honestly, I don't know. I haven't found any studies that said that Riberio Ondantre could infect humans. It seems like the Miracidae is very specific in infecting snails, so I don't think you would get infected during that stage. The Cercarii, you know, maybe? If it's looking around, it's desperate, it burrows into, let's just say, like a swimmer's foot instead of like a fish. But the most common way would probably be if you caught a frog that was infected with this parasite and ate it raw. Now, I don't know why you would do that, and I'm not here to judge. I'm just saying others probably will. But most of the time, unless it's a parasite made for humans, humans are a dead-end host because we're kind of almost removed from the natural order of things. If the Cercarii bore into you, you don't have any limb buds, so he's not going to be able to like grow extra limbs on you. So he would just cyst up and wait for you to get eaten. And most people don't get eaten anymore, so that's kind of a lose-lose for him. But like I said, if you eat an infected frog, and you know, like I said, don't cook it because you're just, you know, hot girl summer, you're just living life to the fullest, then yeah, you could get this flatworm, and I don't see why he wouldn't be able to live inside your digestive system. And then bam, you have a forever friend until Frederick eventually dies, and typically having a flatworm inside you causes some issues like anemia, but it's your life, do what you want. I feel like we've gotten off track here. Let's circle back around. But in all seriousness, this is why I love parasites so much. I mean, yeah, they're gross and all, but like, they're just so unique. Like, some can be as simple as like biting you, drinking some blood, flying away, laying some eggs, and that's that. But then you run into Paris like Frederick here, and he has like a whole life cycle that involves like manipulating and changing several species of animals just to finally be able to reproduce. I mean, who would have thought that a parasite could make you grow extra limbs just so a bird would eat you? Like, that's crazy, man. He could have just made him like sick or slow or something, you know? But no, chose to make him grow extra legs. That's crazy to me, man. I mean, honestly, if I ran into one of these infected frogs and did not know about this, I would have blamed pollution. But I found out in my research, Ribeiro Andante thrives in cleaner water. They hate pollution too. This is just crazy to me, man. Like, this is something that's just naturally in our world. And there are so many more parasites that alter their host in unique ways that, like, I could see myself doing a full series on these. Because it's just so cool. Like zombies. Like, we all know about, like, The Last of Us, right? That's based off a real mushroom. Infecting a host and changing the way they think is not uncommon in the parasite world. And there are even some that can do it to humans. Not to the extreme of like The Last of Us, but still they can do it. But that's all for another video. I would just like to say thank you for watching. Jesus loves you. Drink plenty of water, and hopefully I'll see y'all again soon. Alright. Bye guys.